Okay, here we go. Into the movies, first time. Oh man.
I don't care what you're doing this weekend, go see this movie. It deserves your love, it deserves your admiration, it was fantastic, but go see it after you watch my review. Just kind of need the views.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Will, and I am here to do my quick review for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This is a non-spoiler review because I really do want you to go see this movie in theaters. It is fantastic. Probably one of my favorite MCU solo films since Black Panther, to be honest with you. It definitely deserves your love and admiration. It is a fantastic movie with a great cast. This stars Simu Liu as Shang-Chi, Awkwafina as Katie, Tony Leung as Ching Wei, or the Mandarin, and Michelle Yeoh and Benedict Wong returning as Wong from the Doctor Strange franchise. The story really follows Shang-Chi as he is trying to escape his past, escape the shadow of his father, who is the actual Mandarin that was falsely portrayed by Ben Kingsley in the Iron Man 3 film, but has come to light, and he wants him to be by his side for what he's trying to do. He also reunites with his sister, Zai Ling, and it's a lot of family drama in this movie. I will say this, before I get too much into this review. This is a really, really damn good movie. It has one of my favorite third acts in probably any of the solo Marvel movies. I'm not counting the Avenger films because those are kind of ensembles, but if we're talking like a third act, and a lot of people shit on third acts in superhero movies, this one delivers. The action in this movie is freaking fantastic. It is the best action in terms of like a fight choreography that I have seen in a lot of movies, not even counting MCU movies. It's probably one of the best in MCU movies. I'm not trying to blow smoke up this movie's ass. It doesn't need me to do this. This movie delivers on the characters, the motivations, the drama, the dynamic of Shang-Chi and his family that is the core of this movie, and how it's a broken family. There's, again, light to no spoilers in this, but this family kind of falls off the rail after the death of their mother. And this story is about each of these family members finding a way to move beyond their past mistakes and to try to become the people that they're destined to be. It goes without saying that this movie has a huge cultural impact that is on par with what Black Panther meant to the African American community for the Asian community. Having a lead like Simu Liu, who is a fantastic personality, he seems like a great guy, and he kills it as Shang-Chi in this movie. He's likable, you want to root for him, you want him to be successful, you want him to win at the end of the day. It is a really good portrayal of this character. Very similar to how I feel like, could anyone else have played T'Challa? I don't think anyone else could have played Shang-Chi like Simu Liu has done. Awkwafina, who I know there's some controversy about something with her. I didn't get too much into it in terms of it because I didn't want it to take away from the focus that this movie needs to be seen, needs to be praised, and needs to be viewed by a wide audience because it deserves it. I really feel like this movie deserves it. In terms of her performance in the movie, I enjoyed her performance a lot. She played the role of the audience surrogate, as in the person who is not of this world being exposed to this very mystical and very hidden world in society that, your average person doesn't know. She is the outsider coming in and experiencing this as we as an audience are experiencing it by watching it in the theaters. This was also the first movie that I've seen in the movies in over 18 months. So it was very surreal for me to be sitting back in the theater watching this on a big screen. And it definitely deserved to be watched on a big screen. And it was a lot of fun. I had a blast watching the movie. Yes, I was nervous going back to going back to the theaters, being in that sort of communal environment, but it is something that I did miss, and I was glad that I took the chance to go do it. Major props to Regal Cinema. They did a great job keeping things clean, keeping people, relatively distanced. And props to the moviegoers. Most people were wearing their masks, and I felt comfortable. So that was great. I just wanted to kind of give props to that because it was the first time, I want to say the last movie I saw in theaters was My Hero Academia Heroes Rising. So that was way back in beginning of 2020. I think that was when I saw it. The action in this movie is phenomenal. The fight choreography is smooth. A lot of the shots felt like one shots where there wasn't a lot of cuts that you see in other hand-to-hand combat scenes in movies with people who aren't necessarily properly trained, or you have a very poor fight choreographer leading this film. But whoever was the fight choreographer for this movie did a fantastic job. I was engrossed. It is some of the best action hand-to-hand that you'll see in any MCU movie. Like I even said at the beginning, the third act of this movie is probably one of my favorites. It felt exciting to watch. It didn't feel like a overly CGI'd spectacle, even though there are a lot of elements that required CGI. But the core of the fight, you were invested in the character relationships that led up to this fight. Even Tony Leung's character of the Mandarin, Shang-Chi's father, I didn't feel like he was a villain. He was definitely an antagonist of the movie, but you can also see him more so as just a broken man, as another victim of the world and the tragedy that befell his family, who was just hell-bent on reaching his goal that he was clearly obsessed with, to the detriment of his children. And I thought his sister Xiling, if I'm butchering anybody's names or any pronunciations, I do apologize as well. I just want to say that too. His sister Xiling was a badass. She was on par with Shang-Chi in terms of her abilities as a fighter, as a character. You felt really bad for her in terms of what she had to go through, not just what Shang-Chi had to go through, but what she had to go through as well. But you couldn't help but respect and applaud her ability to make herself her own person. And the movie's really about these characters finding a way to move forward with their lives and being the person that they're meant to be, that even with all their past mistakes or even where they come from, they have to accept all of it to become whole individuals. And that's what this movie as an origin story does really well with Shang-Chi. I think for an origin story for the character, especially for a character that is probably a D-level character in Marvel Comics, he is nowhere near the top tier of your well-known characters, but the movie, by the end of it, he is a star, and they do a really solid job, and they definitely make it a forefront, like with some of the surprise cameos that are in this movie, to say, hey, he is in this world and he is going to be a big player. And that is phenomenal for a debut solo movie, for a character that most people have no ideas for. The same way that young black kids watching Black Panther for the first time, seeing themselves on screen and seeing variations of themselves in prominent roles and in positive roles, is the same way I feel like the Asian community is going to see that as well with themselves, especially young kids, to see someone like Shang-Chi being such a prominent, respectable, kind, but also flawed and vulnerable character who finds a way to overcome all that to realize who they are, to realize their destiny. And it's such a phenomenal cast. Michelle Yeoh, I would watch anything that she is in. She is a presence on camera, and she has this way with her voice that always feels soothing. Because I remember when she was also in another movie that I really like, Kung Fu Panda 2, she played a character in that, and just even without her being on screen, her voice it's just beautiful, and I really love that she was in this movie. Again, bunch of surprise cameos. I don't want to ruin. I will say that, of course, we knew that Benedict Wong is in the movie, and also the Abomination return, and I was very surprised at that sort of meeting / relationship that's on screen. Trying not to spoil things, and again, it was in the trailers, so it's not really a spoiler, but they were in the movie. The movie also has 2 post-credit scenes, like most MCU movies do, that do a really good job setting up the futures of these new characters that have been introduced in the movie. A lot of cameos in that first post-credit scene too, so it like I said a few minutes ago, it sets up Shang-Chi as a major character moving forward, and it's exciting. It's super exciting. It was just exciting to be back in the theater too, watching this big blockbuster on screen. So I really hope that, if people feel comfortable, and again, it's still going on, so try to be safe out there. But if you feel comfortable, I highly recommend taking the chance, going to the movies, supporting this movie. Not from the sense of supporting it because you want to support Disney or anything like that with your money. It's about supporting a movie that is going to impact the community in such a positive aspect. The same way that Black Panther impacted the African American community, I really feel like a prominent, large-scale comic book superhero movie, prominently casted by Asian actors, is going to have such an impact on people, such an impact on a younger generation too, who love these characters and will fall in love with these characters, because I'm already in love with these characters. It has some of the best action in the MCU. It has one of the best third acts in the movie. There's a freaking dragon in the movie. It's not a spoiler, it's in the trailer, but there is a freaking dragon, and it is cool. And it's great. The comedy is great. I think all the actors did a phenomenal job with their characters. I'm gushing over the movie because I really enjoyed it. And not even just because it's my first time back in the theater. It was that if I was going to risk seeing a movie, in the theater again, I'm glad this was the first one. I'm glad I saved it for Shang-Chi. And I highly, highly, highly recommend going to see this movie. Give it the love that it deserves. Give it the respect that it deserves. Put respect on Shang-Chi's name. Simu Liu is phenomenal. He kills the role. All the actors do a phenomenal job, but he carries that movie, and it's great. And I highly, highly, highly recommend it to go see Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So that is my quick review of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Hopefully you've had a chance to check it out. If you have, let me know in the comments down below what you thought about the movie. Please keep it on spoiler, because I really want people to go check this thing out. If you guys want me to maybe do a spoiler review talking about some of the spoilery stuff or the cameos in the movie, let me know in the comments as well. I don't mind doing that. I actually would enjoy doing that as well. Thank you so much for watching this and all my videos. I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me. Follow me on all the social media listed at the end of this video. I've got a ton of videos on the channel that you're more than welcome to check out. Like, share, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And as always, until next time, I will catch you later. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you did like this video, why not give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends? You can subscribe to the channel by clicking on my gorgeous little face right over there. You can follow me on all the various social media platforms right below. And last but certainly not least, if you've got a few extra minutes, why not check out one of the lovely videos floating right over here. Later.